Hey folks, Lester and Trixie here. Busy day today, busy day. We've done all of our chores here at Longhorn Lester's, and now we're off to I'm a Survivor. Looks like we had a breakout. We had a breakout yesterday. And we're going to go by and figure out what's going on, how our cows are getting out, and try to just piece together the mystery of how we keep getting cows out. Y'all join us. I saw the live and I saw the video, and I don't know why you think you have to go doing all that stuff. I will say that sometimes when things run in your family, yes, it can't all be your fault. I do remember the bloodline that you come from. We know where it all started years and years and years ago. We're about to slowly creep our way up over there. There's Big Daddy in the background. How exciting is this? How exciting is this? Let me see, baby. Wait a minute. No. No. Hey! This is Tex. And this here is my dad's bull, Billy. Not your baby! That's not your baby! No, 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 no! Santana of all cows, of all bulls, why him? He's a big galoot! And the thing is, she has no remorse. She has no remorse whatsoever. Moms, if you found yourself guilty of something, and then you begin to realize that it runs in your family, don't you at least have some sense of remorse? You don't want your kids to follow in your footsteps, or your grandkids to follow in your footsteps, if in fact those footsteps lead you down a very dark path. Jolene and Grandma is not as sweet as what you... You know what? I think Jolene likes being bad. Jolene, I love you, but I was not real happy with what I saw yesterday. I wasn't. Now, was I proud of you? Yes. I was proud. Don't wink at me. No, I'm not going to be soft on you. I'm not going to be soft on you. Jolene, I'm not going to be soft on you. Jolene, I'm not going to be soft on you, because what I saw was a little bit of the devil yesterday. I did see some of the devil in you. And I don't want to see the devil in my sweet girl, okay? I don't want you to be a devil child. I don't. I want you to be sweet like an angel, baby. I don't want to see you fighting, baby. No one wants to see their kids fighting. Not you. Not my sweet Jolene. And everyone's thinking it's so funny. It's not funny to see Jolene fight, y'all. But I am proud of you because you did a good job in your fighting. I'll just say that. I'm not happy with what you did, but I'm proud of how you did it. Okay? I'm not happy with what y'all did, but I am happy how you did it. That's all I'm going to say about that. Okay, sweetie? Now let's go talk to your mama and see what her problem is, okay? You want to come with me? You want to come with me to talk to your mom and see what her problem is? We know what her problem is. Her problem is Grandma. That's her problem right there. Y'all's entire problem started from a bad seed right there, Jolene. The apple does not fall far from that tree, Jolene. You know it's true. The apple does not fall far from the tree. The tree of Santana, which produced the tree of Pearl, which has now produced the tree of Jolene. Young lady, look what you've caused. Look what you have caused. You have caused us to have to close the entire gate to the 38.6 Yes, you caused that, Pearl. You are the cause of that. Now I'm gonna open it back up while I'm here. While I'm here today, I'm gonna open up the 38.6 and let everyone have a chance to go back and do a little foraging. But I will not leave them back here if I'm not here to watch them. And what we're gonna do, you and me, are gonna drive around and try to find the location that Pearl and Jolene snuck through. I'll tell you what I was thinking about doing. Well, let me first of all tell you the whole problem here. Let me tell you the problem. Let's drive over, get a little bit closer, and let me tell you the entire problem. Okay. These are called milkweeds. Nothing eats them. But there is a little bit of grass growing here and there amongst the milkweed, which is why we're okay with our cows coming back. Also, your longhorns can eat things that other cows can't. Some of this green growing up here and there is edible to a longhorn. This ratchet fencing is temporary. It's not my work. Well, it is a little bit of my patchwork, but it's not my official work. That right there is my official work. That's the kind of fencing that I build. I build good, solid fencing. But what I don't do is go by and patch up fencing very well. And you're saying, so Lester, why don't you come through here and build you a good, solid fence? If you're so good at fence building, and I'll tell you why. Because even though this is my property line for now, and I'm going to stress for now, my dad says, these are from my dad, from Pawpaw, that I will eventually inherit the land from that corner, which is about 300 yards that way, straight back to the river, which is about another 1,000 yards going that way. So all of this at some point will become Lester's property of Lester. So in saying so, I have a really hard time having to go by and do 1,000 yards of fencing, friends, of good, solid, and expensive fencing, if in fact it's only going to be temporary. I know you get my dilemma here. I know you understand that. And so as of right now, if I'm going to have to spend the money and the time, the labor to do the fencing, I would rather do it in the right place. The forever fence, a forever fence. But my dad is not ready yet. He still wants his cows to be able to graze this area. And we're in a drought. And I understand that that's, if you look at the 300 yards times 1,000 yards, there's a lot of grass in there, y'all, that my dad's cows need. And so I'm not going to force, it's not a child's place to force something like that on your parent. It's not. So in the meantime, I came by to this piece of property that I recently purchased within the year, and I've just kind of patched up what was some existing fencing. But even in patching it up, we've had issues. The ground is too hard to drive a T-post. You will absolutely bend. Your T-post will bend before it'll drive into the ground because the ground is so dry and so hard. You can't use your auger to put a post in the ground, so I can't put post. I've had to come by and run wire from tree to tree to tree, which is very tacky, very, very tacky. So there's no one who's sitting here bragging on this area. There's no one. who's going to be bragging on what you've done over here. That temporary fencing did not work. So I had the tractor guy, Leo and Uriel, come by with the bulldozer and push all of this debris up along through here, hoping to prevent the cows from getting up face to face. If you notice something, I have all this debris over on one side, which keeps Moses away from my fence. I have stuff over here to keep Pearl, Santiana, and all them ladies from coming up over on this side of the fence. But there's still somewhere that they're finding themselves through. All right, circumstantial evidence number 2. This gate should never be left open. Never. And in fact, it was. Let me show you on this gate should never be left open. Friends, if you know much about the layout of the property, now this is all the property that I bought from Aunt Joanne less than a year ago. And I knew that that gate had to remain closed when I put cows on here, because there's no fencing back here. And so anything that comes into this pasture, which is very heavily wooded, can walk straight over into my dad's pastures, because there's no fencing in between the property here. I'm going to walk you over and show you. I don't show much of this back property, so it might be kind of fun to take a walk with me. I will say that even though there's some really great foraging back here, you would never want your cows to get down along the river when the river's this low. The river's about, about 100 yards that way. But this creek right here has always been this dry creek. It's kind of a slough is what we call it. You might would call it the bayou. Now listen, I'm watching for snakes, so bear with me. Sometimes when it's dry like this, animals, if there's any animals back here, can walk all the way along it the way I'm doing now and cross right from one property to the other. I'll show you what I mean by that, because I'm coming up on it now. I'm still watching for snakes. This T-post in the ground, that's my dad's property line. And there should be a fence there. There should be some fencing, but there's not. There's the other side over there. There's no fencing here because every time it floods, whatever flood pushes through here, it always knocks the fencing over. So they just never built it back. They never built it back. Instead, my dad put him a gate over here that he keeps closed. I keep my gate closed. And that way our cows never have a chance to run back and forth between properties. I have walked every inch of fence between mine and Jake's and Dad's property. There's no way that any of the cows would have gotten out anywhere through there. Even though the fencing is not great, there's a hedgerow or so much stuff pushed up against it that nothing has come through over there. We have found an open gate, and so I'm suspecting, I'm just putting one and one together, friends, and the only way the cows could have came through was through that open gate. Now, you got to ask yourself the question of who is the one moving around back here between gates that could have left the gate open. I would have no idea. I'm over my dad's property now, and any animal who is let out of one gate can go right across to the other person's property. And that's why we keep all of these gates closed and should be locked. Well, this gate's just kind of dangling like so. All right, so that was circumstantial evidence number 2. Let's walk back to the gate. Well, looky here. I did not even notice this on my first time walking through. Guys, what do you think that right there is? And what kind of animal does that belong to? There you go. So, The evidence, the circumstantial evidence, is starting to mount. And you can draw your own conclusions, because I'm not going to involve myself in all of that. Even though you can tell I'm heavily involved, or I wouldn't be making the video. All right, that should guarantee that we have no one else leaving this gate open. And it's very heavily bolted into this 8-inch round post, so it's not going to come off on either end. Okay, there's one last thing we have to look at, friends. Y'all follow me down over here. The fencing through here is pretty bad, but no cows have been jumping through all of that mess. Same thing for the other side. There's not much in terms of fencing, but you can also see that there's no way animals could be jumping through all of that mess along with the hedgerow there that follows it. I think the last thing I'm going to say about this, and I'll let it go, is, Lester, why you make such a big deal about it? Why is it such a big deal, Lester? And here's why. If for some reason, be it a prank or be it a joke or be it just for good TV, one of my cows ends up getting bred by Moses, then you can pretty much guarantee that that baby from that cow, well, it will not stay here. It will end up it will be in fact a mixed bred cow, half longhorn, half beef master, and it will be a beefy cow, and it will not live its life out here. So we do all that we can to make sure that doesn't happen, that kind of stuff can't happen and doesn't happen. If I could just snap my fingers and have everything ideal, I would have all of my cows together, same property, cross-fenced where they have their own herds who they can run with, where I can be the eyes and ears. But being as we don't have that type of setup now, you have to really depend on those who work with you and work around you to make sure that everything goes smoothly on those days when you're not there.